everybody. Welcome to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. CST out of Elgin in the Chicagoland area. Welcome in, y'all. It is Friday Eve. Yes, that is how I see Thursdays, as Friday Eve. Welcome in on today's show rundown. We're going to go over the daily news, and also we're going to talk about how to address and deal with a manipulator. So if you feel like you need some tips and tricks, you want to empathize and sympathize with each other and also with me, and you want to just have this good old conversation dealing with this social topic, don't go anywhere. Stick around, listen to the entire Jaime Dee Show, and just relax, okay? Relax. This is not only going to be your favorite live radio personality, but also your favorite live radio show, the Jaime Dee Show. We're also live streaming on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show. That's spelled TheJaimeDeeshow. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also send out the link to your friends, family, loved ones, and more, because like I tell you guys over and over and over, I want you guys to help build me, okay? I'm doing my best behind the scenes, but I cannot do it without you. So if I have the help of each and every one of you actually supporting me, sending the link out to people, and letting everybody know that the Jaime Dee Show exists, that would mean the absolute world to me, because that would help me grow bigger. So thank you all so much for those who are tuning in their cars right now, and for those who are actually tuning in on the many different streaming platforms I'm on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Seriously, I would not be able to be in this position if it was not for you. All right, let's get into some daily news. As stated by the Neighborhood Talk, a Louisiana mother is calling out a New Orleans police officer after he was caught on video harassing and assaulting her son during a Mardi Gras parade. According to NOLA.com, the now viral video shows an 18-year-old band student, Brandon Mitchell of L.B. Landry High School, simply playing his instrument after the band came to a stop. Then a patrolling officer bumped into Brandon, turned around and pushed him again, causing him to bump into another band member. Both students then put down their instrument and approached the officer to question why he decided to antagonize them. Before the situation was able to escalate more, the band started moving again. Quote, "I want a public apology because he embarrassed my son," end quote, said the mother, Tiffany Jones. Quote, "I am furious and I'm livid," end quote, Jones said. Quote, "He's not the type of child police should be doing this to. It's band one-on-one to know you're not supposed to push a child playing an instrument," end quote. As for the officer, the Office of the Independent Police Monitor said he was immediately taken off his parade route assignment. In a statement, they said, quote, "It was immediately concerned by the behavior of the officer and promptly spoke with NOPD leadership," end quote. Take a listen to this news report.
This video shows the L.B. Landry Marching Band come to a stop near St. Charles and Canal Street. An NOPD officer backs up and bumps into 18-year-old section leader Brandon Mitchell.
Once he bumped into my son, that's when he turned around and shoved him. My son immediately reacted, but he didn't react physically, but he did say, "Hey, what's your problem?" And he continues to tell my son, "You know what you did, you know what you did." And my son said, "I was only simply playing my music. What do you mean? I know what I did."
The student's mother, Tiffany Jones, says the officer tried to provoke her son. In the video, you can see Orleans Parish Sheriff's deputies and Mitchell's bandmates step in. The deputy touches the two students, creating space between the officer and them.
The deputy got in the middle and, told them to keep going. But as my son was continuing to try to get some kind of response from the police officer, he turned his back to him as if he didn't just physically assault him and push him.
Jones says she wants an apology from the officer and NOPD.
Because if the shoe was on the other foot and my son reacted physically or my son initiated the contact, then he would be charged as an adult because he's 18.
NOPD says its Public Integrity Bureau is investigating the incident. The Orleans Independent Police Monitor says it's reviewed the video and the officer was removed from his assignment. In a statement to WWL Louisiana, the Monitor said, quote, "Upon review, the OIPM was immediately concerned by the behavior of the officer and promptly spoke with NOPD leadership. The OIPM understands the public's frustration and disappointment. Reaction on social media shows members of the community took the interaction to heart.
I feel like it's like a one band, one sound type of deal. The city has written for my son and myself, and I am just so grateful.
And Jones says she does plan to file a formal complaint with the PIB tomorrow. She also said she's looking into taking legal action. Reporting live, Lily Cummings, WWL Louisiana. All right.
This situation is definitely a very hard one. On one hand, you're like, yes, I'm so proud of that band member for being courageous enough to stick up for injustices and stick up for themselves and be like, why would you put your hands on me? You are here to serve and protect me. But on the other hand, it's like, you are 18. You also are Black. You should not be doing that, because we see time and time again, and I'm not speaking for all police officers. I have police officers in my family, and I love what they do for our community. And those who are actually taking their job seriously and are respectful and amazing citizens, police officers, and human beings, I'm for them. But we know there's a lot of people that we've seen time and time again who are not supposed to be police officers. So you're supposed to protect yourself, watch what you're doing, and walk away when you're in those type of situations, because you never know what could happen. And thank God that this police officer was not alone. Thank God that this band member was not in a space where something bad could have happened, because who could have known what could have happened? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's one of those hard situations where you're like, I'm happy he stood up for himself, but also, hey, some things does not deserve a reaction, and you should just walk away and talk to your mom, report it later, get it on video, and leave it alone, because you don't want to end up in a worse situation. I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't. And I'm also glad that police officer was taken off of that parade route during that time, because one thing I feel like we forget is that, yes, there are people who are racist. Yes, there are people who are not deserving of their badge, but also people are people. And there are some good police officers out there who are just having a bad day and couldn't control themselves. And sometimes they shouldn't be on the force either, because even if they're good people and can't control themselves, you shouldn't be there. Because if you ever feel like you're going to be in a situation where you can't control yourself, don't go to work. Request a day off. Put in some PTO. Put in some sick leave. Don't show up to work if you know you got some frustrations to let out. Because we're human. And I give people grace who are police officers who have frustrations, because we're all human. But also be a responsible adult if you're not one of those racist jerks, and take the day off so you don't put yourself in those situations where you're now being perceived as a racist or bigot or whatever, because you let your emotions control your actions while you're patrolling. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have some more daily news, so don't go anywhere. This is the Jaime Dee Show, live on KSHP out of Las Vegas and live on WRMN out of the Elgin in the Chicagoland area. I'll be right back.
This is Marky B of The First Shift, and when I feel like getting serious in the mornings, I call on Jeff Ward of thefirstword.net, because he has the solutions to all of our local and national issues.
Every time I talk about this immigration issue, people accuse me, oh, you just want to let them all in. No, we need to take care of our own. You know, of course, if we cut our defense budget by 10%, we could take care of everybody, migrants and our own. And we'd still be spending more money than the next 9 to 10 countries combined.
It's The First Shift, weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m., right here on WRMN. This is Marky B inviting you to feel the power of The First Shift.
To God be the glory, my brother. Thank you so much. You are such an inspiration to many of folks that's here in Elgin. I'm in West Dundee. I'm a Dundeeite now, not an Elginite anymore, but I love you. I can even give a number of prayers that we as a people continue to grow and to be there for one another. Please, people, let's get on board. Check on your neighbors, check on your friends, and just give an inspiration that life is worth living.
It's The First Shift, weekday mornings from 6 until 10, right here on WRMN. Is your company active on social media? Powerful and optimized social media profiles give you the biggest bang for the buck. Establishing a program that concentrates on building and maintaining an audience that is best suited for your business will turn your audience into customers. Reach out to Corcom.com for help with your social media. They offer free consultations and can be reached at KORCOMM.com or 224-227-3371.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. CST out of Elgin in the Chicagoland area. I'm also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at The Jaime Dee Show. So come on over, follow us, look at some behind the scenes, and check out me, Jaime Dee. That's The Jaime Dee Show at TheJaimeDeeshow. All right, if you're just now tuning in, we're going over some daily news. And unfortunately, I'm super irritated that I have to report this, and not even just irritated, but saddened, to be very honest. There was a shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs parade, and according to Fox 5 Vegas, a random guy by the name of Paul Contreras helped tackle a man with a gun after the Kansas City Chiefs parade shooting this past Wednesday. Quote, I just heard somebody yelling to stop this guy, tackle him, and he was coming in the opposite direction. So you don't think about it. It's just a reaction, end quote. He told CNN. Paul said that when he tackled the guy, a gun fell out of his hand or sleeve. His daughter, Alyssa Marsh Contreras, took a video of police stepping in to arrest the man after her father, Paul, tackled him to the ground. Other people came to help him hold the man down. Quote, I take him down and I'm putting all my body weight on him. And then another Good Samaritan comes over and is helping me because I kind of got him high and the other guy gets him around his waist. And we're just putting our weight on him, end quote, Paul said. Quote, he's just fighting to get up, but we're fighting to keep him down. And another Good Samaritan comes over and puts his weight on us, and we're waiting on the cops to show up, end quote. Alyssa, his daughter says it all happened so fast. Quote, I think the most alarming thing was when we saw cops chasing people and then seeing a younger teenager just completely coming at us, and then notice just everybody in the crowd just kind of scatter and run. And that's when I knew, okay, something wasn't right, end quote, she said. Alyssa says she did not leave her dad's side. Quote, who knew what could have happened if they needed help? So I was just there to make sure, his hat, his phone, his wallet didn't go missing in the progress of him getting his offender down, end quote, she said. Paul says that although the incident was probably 15 to 30 seconds, it felt like a long time. Quote, he was fighting the whole time, fighting the whole time. And we were fighting him to keep him down. We didn't want to let him up and take off flying because he had one gun. He may have had another one in that big, bulky jacket, he said, end quote. Paul says he did not see the man shoot the gun, and police have not confirmed that the person in the video is one of the 3 people they have detained in the connection to the shooting. Soon after the parade, to celebrate the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl win, gunshots rang out outside Union Station, despite there being more than 800 police officers in the building and nearby. One person was killed and more than 20 were wounded, including children. Quote, I'm angry at what happened today. The people who came out to the celebration should expect a safe movement and environment, end quote. Kansas City Police Chief Stacey Graves said. Radio station KKFI said on Facebook that Lisa Lopez Galvin, host of Taste of Tijuana, was killed in the shooting. Quote, this senseless act has taken a beautiful person from her family in this KC community, end quote. KKFI said in a statement, according to the Associated Press. Andy Reid and other coaches and staff members who were all accounted for, and the Kansas City Chiefs football team was on buses returning to the Arrowhead Stadium at the time of the shooting, according to the Associated Press. This news report was honestly so irritating to read, because when you think about life, you think about how you just want to enjoy it. You think about how you just want to be safe. You think about how you just want to be seen. You think about how you just want to be respected and loved. And there are just so many stupid, horrible, disgusting, vile, evil, deranged, and unhinged people out there who will not only come into your space and destroy it, but also tear it apart to a point where you're left with trauma for the rest of your life. And that's what these shooters did. They came to a beautiful moment, a beautiful space, and what was supposed to be a wonderful parade, and ruined it for everybody. I just don't understand how there are people who are so unhinged who say, yeah, This is my time. Let me go create complete chaos and kill people. It's disgusting. And to think that you feel as though that this is going to be a great time, but I'm afraid to go because we see that there's shootings here, shootings there, shootings everywhere. So I'm going to stay at home is a horrible way to have to live. To have to feel like you can't go out and be amongst the crowd. To have to feel like too many people equals danger. To have to feel as though traditions such as parades, concerts, festivals, carnivals, and more are now dangerous territory because those are targeted places for people is insane. It makes me sick because as somebody who's an extreme extrovert who loves to be out in the scene, loves to be in big crowds, I also now feel like that. When my sister went to Lollapalooza this past year, I was afraid for her safety. And that's sad to think. Like, oh my gosh, we pray over Lollapalooza in Chicago because there's shootings everywhere, but there's also shootings in Chicago. And we know people have just been targeting festivals, targeting concerts, targeting everything that people are going in masses to enjoy. And now we have to feel that way, and it sucks. It sucks. And being as someone who has been involved in shootings at parades and carnivals and festivals that didn't even make it on TV shows there's so many other shootings that go unnoticed and unspoken about, which is even worse. So I'm praying for those who are affected by the situation. I'm praying for those who are going to have to deal with trauma for the rest of their lives. I'm praying for those who are now joining the group of people who feel as though that they can't go out to big events anymore because they're going to end up as a target. They may end up dead. They may not make it back home. What is wrong with people? As written by Fox News, Beyonce fans piled on a country music radio station after it initially refused to play one of her newest songs, forcing the station to respond. An X post, formerly known as Twitter, went viral on Tuesday after a man claimed that he reached out to Oklahoma's KYKC country music station to request the pop singer's country song, Texas Hold'em. He posted the station's response, highlighting its explanation that, quote, "We do not play Beyonce," end quote. Quote, "I requested Texas Hold'em at my local country radio station, KYKC, and after requesting, I received an email from the radio station stating, 'We do not play Beyonce on KYKC as we are a country music station,' end quote." The post read. The ex-user tagged the Beehive fan account and added, quote, "The station needs to be held accountable for their blatant racism and discrimination against Beyonce," end quote. After ongoing fan backlash, the station released a statement on Wednesday confirming its initial response, but calling the situation a misunderstanding. Quote, "We initially refused to play it in the same manner if someone requested us to play the Rolling Stones on our country station," end quote. General Manager Roger Harris said in a statement, quote, "Fact is, we play Beyonce on 2 of our other stations and love her. She is an icon. We just didn't know about the song. Then we found out about it. We tried to get the song, which we did, and we have already played it 3 times on KYKC, our country station. We also play her on 105.5 KXFC FM and KADA FM on 99.3, end quote. Quote, "But finally, we got our hands on it, and based on the fan support, we decided to air it," end quote. He continued, quote, "Truthfully, normally we would usually wait a while to see how the song performs on the charts and on bigger country stations than ours, as we are just the little guys," end quote. The station also responded to comments on its Facebook account, noting that it would begin playing the song after it took time to obtain a copy. The account also stated that Beyonce's management team called the station to thank them for their support. In a comment to Fox News Digital, Harris reiterated the station's love for the pop singer and its dedication to the audience in supporting good music. Quote, "I've always just wanted to play any music if it was good. Does it help? If it's a hit? Yes, because radio listeners do want to hear recognizable hit songs, and we do understand it's hard for new artists or new artists wanting to break into a new area to do that in today's rigid typecasting of music and artists. So we try to see all sides of it. In the long run, we just want to serve our marketplace in the community and play good music," end quote, Harris said. Whether our country music stations should play the song, he responded, quote, "There really is an individual question to each station because they all have different markets and different types of music that they play, end quote. Fox News Digital also reached out to Beyonce's publicist for a comment. Beyonce surprised the world Sunday night after the Super Bowl by dropping the new singles Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages to preview her upcoming album Renaissance Act 2. Set to debut on March 29th. In contrast to her previous Renaissance album, the upcoming Act 2 appears to have more of a country music influence. She previously dabbled in the genre back in 2016 with the song Daddy Lessons. She also performed the song at the 50th anniversary of the Country Music Awards with Dixie Chicks. Now, in this situation, in this super long news report, I wanted to make sure I read it all so that you guys got the full story. Because on social media, there are many blogs that are talking about this story in snippets. They're not giving the full story. And I'm going to say this. Like I said before, every act of ignorance doesn't always immediately mean that it's racism. And I don't want to give everybody an excuse, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for this station, but as somebody who works in the music industry, the entertainment industry, and the media industry, who has worked for a country station, a pop station, a talk station, and more, I understand that a lot of times when artists drop music, some of these stations, especially the smaller ones, don't even get a copy of that song right away. Also, there is a fight to get more hip, inclusive, and up-to-date people in the music industry, in the radio industry, who are keeping up with the times, who understand people want to hear what they want to hear, and who are going to do their best to make sure that they're paying attention to what people are talking about in their communities and in their local media stations, and also in national and international media. And oftentimes there are so many people who are in these spaces who aren't paying attention, who are outdated and should have been phased out, who are holding a spot that is deserving of other people. And there are a lot of people who just aren't paying attention to what's happening, who aren't interested in seeing what artists are moving into a different genre of music like Beyonce. And to be very honest, like I said, I'm not trying to give this station an excuse, but I can very well see them seeing that email, seeing that it wasn't detailed enough for them to understand what was going on and respond like, hey, we just don't play Beyonce here, and leaving it at that. And then when they get called out and they're like, hold on, what is this song we actually listen to? And they realize, oh crap, Beyonce did release new music and it is country music. We messed up. Now we got to play it. But people are now making them look like they're racist for just immediately thinking, well, no. When I heard Beyonce and I saw Beyonce in that email, I just instantly thought, no, she's a pop star, she's this or she's that, and she's not country. And I just responded in that way. And so my advice to these people is take your time, do your research, and don't be so quick to reject somebody or deny somebody, because this situation could have definitely been avoided if you guys would have actually did your research and figured out what is this Beyonce song, instead of just assuming because it's Beyonce and because a Black person is requesting this song that it has to be pop and it can't be country. Don't assume. Don't assume. And I can understand if you put two and two together, you may think, I'm not racist. I'm just assuming that this won't be country and respond the way you did. But that's what you get when you assume. Make an A out of you and them. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have a conversation on how to address and deal with the manipulator. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be a very important topic, all right? And I want you guys to get involved. So stick around. This is the Jaime Dee Show live on KSHP in Las Vegas and live on WRMN in the Elgin and the Chicagoland area. I'll be back.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Ever take your car through the auto emissions lane only to experience the sinking feeling that your car has failed the test? Don't fret. Let Meineke at 376 Sundown in South Elgin fix the problem for you. Meineke's mechanics will determine the exact problem with your vehicle and suggest necessary repairs with Meineke's diagnostic service. Pass that test with help from the trained Meineke technicians. Call today for your appointment. 847-888-9644. That's 847-888-9644.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live on WRMN out of Elgin in the Chicagoland area. If you're just now tuning in, I went over some daily news, and now we're about to have a conversation about addressing and dealing with a manipulator. But before we get into this, if you want to promote your business, products, music, services, podcasts, and more, hit us up at info@jaimedee.com. That's info@JAIMEDEE.com. I promise you, we have the reach that you would need, not want, but need to tap into if you want to grow your business. Hit us up, all right? All right, let's get into this social topic because I feel as though this is a topic that we all can actually relate to. Being a victim of a master manipulator can be such a traumatic experience that affects people for years. And I mean years. As someone who has dealt with manipulators before and still has to in and out of my family, it is a very disheartening situation to be in. If you had to or have to deal with a manipulator, I understand how you feel. You are not alone and you're feeling sad, upset, alone, confused, scared, lost, and more. I'm going to say it again. If you had to or have to deal with the manipulator, I understand how you feel. You are not alone in feeling sad, upset, alone, confused, scared, lost, and more. I'm a very courageous person, and I'm also very communicative and outspoken, but I've often found myself not trying to make a situation worse or getting the other person to understand what it is I'm trying to convey when dealing with a manipulator. And when you're doing that with the manipulator, trying to get them to understand or trying to de-escalate a situation or not make it worse, it can be very hard, frustrating, and extremely exhausting. Sometimes it feels like no matter what you do, you can't get this manipulator to understand and change their habits. I know there are a lot of people out there who believe that you could just leave the situation and cut off the manipulator in question. But if you're like many people whose manipulators are their parents, family, significant other, resource provider, and more, it can be very hard to leave. Especially when you love this person so much so to the point that it hurts or you need them to survive. There are many people who can't just escape their situation because the attachment to the manipulator is stronger than the experiences they face with them. It is a very sad reality because there are really way too many people who know they need to leave, but feel as though that they can't. While you can always leave a situation, for many, the reality of what could happen if they left the manipulator is scarier than staying and dealing with them. If you are someone who is trying to build their strength up to address their manipulator, please do it with caution and don't let your emotions take over the situation. Again, if you are someone who is trying to build their strength to address their manipulator, please do it with caution and don't let your emotions take over the situation. MindTools.com says that, quote, when you suspect that someone is trying to manipulate you, be assertive. This means you stand up for your own interest while still respecting his or her needs. First, recognize how the other person views the situation. Then express your needs directly. You'll project strength and confidence when you're specific about what you want. Be direct and persistent and use I statements to avoid generalities and accusations. For instance, you could say, I would feel taken advantage of if I did that. instead of "you're taking advantage of me." Manipulators will often change the subject or use other avoidance tactics when you try to confront them. For example, if you turn down a request, they might suggest a meeting to discuss it later. When you stand up for yourself, manipulators might use evasive or divisionary tactics to confuse you, weaken your resolve, or throw you off track. Don't let them distract you or sidetrack you. Stay focused on the issue that you want to address. End quote. Kara says, "Oh, manipulators. Yes, sadly, there are people who stay ignorant, and it's very unfortunate." And I understand. And to add to that, always remember to set boundaries. MindTools.com says that they agree with that and that you should, quote, think about what types of behavior you will and won't tolerate from other people. Setting boundaries like this enables you to offer assistance when they need it, but not allow them to take advantage of you. Consider how others have manipulated you in the past and what they ultimately wanted from you. Will you tolerate any of these behaviors again, or do you want to draw a line in the sand? It can be useful to keep a journal of your thoughts as you go through this process. Writing down the boundaries that you're comfortable with will help you think about the situation clearly, strengthen your boundaries in your mind, and provide a healthy outlet for your feelings, end quote. Just remember, you can do things step by step and at your own pace. You don't have to rush into addressing your manipulator. Try to get them to change immediately or leave the situation right away. Again, I want you all to remember, you can do things step by step and at your own pace. It's going to take some time to process everything and handle the manipulator accordingly, and that's okay. Now, the social topic was chosen because I was scrolling on Instagram and saw this random video of this guy calling out his manipulator, who happens to be his mom, on a video. And when I say this video was a lot, I mean it was a lot. Let's watch it together and discuss how we feel about it. As always, you're more than welcome to call in at 847-931-1410. Again, that's 847-931-1410. And I want you all to remember that if you cannot call in, please, please, please continue to comment, and I will acknowledge your comments out loud. Let's watch the video.
What's up, TikTok? Hey, it's Tammy, Chaos Coordinator. I'm here with my mom. And we're here to talk about some things. So I wanted to tell you, I really do think, if I'm honest, that you're a very manipulative person. And I think that you use a lot of things in our relationship with our family and also in your regular life with people as manipulation tactics, so you can garner sympathy and keep doing things that you do that you probably know in your heart of hearts are the wrong thing for you to do.
Give me an example, please.
One easy example is every time we start talking about something related to me, maybe like coming out or whatever the case may be, you instantly start going to, oh, well, I felt really bad too. And I think you do that as a way to manipulate things. I'll even say for this channel, sometimes when you don't want to talk about certain content matter, you'll say, well, I'm just going to leave the channel. It's like a manipulation tactic. And I will also say, I think sometimes when you like around family and things like that, the first thing is like, oh, I've been sick. And even if you've been feeling better, you're just like always, I think, seeking sympathy as like a way to manipulate situations and get what you want out of them.
I think you're wrong. See,
I gave you examples. So
okay, so I'm responding. And I said, I think you're wrong.
Okay.
And why I think you're wrong is because you're the manipulator. It's not me. You are the manipulator.
See how you're like turning the tables literally right this second and not addressing the actual...
No, let's address your manipulation. Let's address it.
But, I'm fine to do that, but it's funny that like when I'm here talking to you about something with you, the first thing you do is come to me, and I think that's exactly the way you use those tactics. It's a tactic that you use. It is true. It's a tactic.
Really? You think?
Yes, I do.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm not going to always be here.
That's more manipulation.
Okay.
Now you're talking about your potential fault, unaliving as more manipulation instead of confronting the real thing. You just run from it.
No, the real thing is that you're the manipulator. You are. You're spoiled rotten, and you are the manipulator. You are spoiled rotten.
I think you literally just proved exactly what I said.
No, I did not.
So we can end the video now because I think you literally proved exactly what I said. You never want to take accountability.
What you want me to take accountability for something you think I am?
And you always seek to build sympathy.
No. I'm not going to take accountability for something you think I am.
I think that's why you can't even go to therapy by yourself. That's why you dropped out. You dropped out of your last therapist because I think when people start telling you about yourself, you don't like it.
Let me tell you something. She's an art therapist. I didn't even know she was an art therapist. She can't therapy me. She can't.
I'll stop you. I don't think anybody can therapy you.
No. She could not provide the therapy I needed because you know why? Every time we got on the phone, she wanted to talk to me about her. She should have been paying me. What am I paying you for?
You can agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm. And then the other therapist we had, the family therapist, I told you what he did. I'm out there in the pool with my sister, having a drink. And he gonna call me talking about a 3-way call. And you and him on the phone. I told him, don't call me this time of night.
It was not during the night. It was in the evening.
It was 8:30. It was 8:30.
I think this is why it's hard to build and rebuild relationship with you.
I beg to disagree.
Well, okay. There we go.
So I'm definitely not victim shaming this person, but my first reaction to this video was, sir, why did you have to put this video? Why did you have to record this video actually, and then share it to social media? You see how my brain just was like, bruh, because I literally in that moment, I'm like, why? Does nobody keep anything private anymore or deal with things behind closed doors? Why does everything have to be made public? That was my thought. I'm like, TikTok really got y'all out here just putting any and everything on social media for likes, comments, and more. However, I also thought, well, if you felt like this was the best way to deal with your situation, who am I to talk? At least you were courageous enough to deal with your manipulator head on. And that's why I said I'm not victim shaming. Because on one hand, I'm like, dude, why you post this? But also, hey, if you felt like this was going to get your mom to see that she's wrong, and because you guys are on social media as content creators together, and you guys have been on a show before that was on a TV show, and you feel like people commenting may get her to be triggered enough to be like, you know what, maybe I am a manipulator and I can fix myself, then go right ahead. I can't talk. I definitely feel bad for the son, though, because his mom is a master manipulator who is allergic to accountability and truth. You just saw it. You just heard it. It was a very sad video to watch because when you have been a victim of a manipulator, you feel secondhand trauma watching other people's situation occur. And that's what I felt. It was also very disheartening to hear that the mom tried therapy, but it wasn't successful. Sometimes there are people who are just so damaged and hurt that even therapy won't help. And it feels like there's nothing else to be done to help that person. And it is very sad. I'm no professional on this topic, and I still do my own research to this day to find ways to deal with manipulators. So this whole thing is still a learning experience for me. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have some more talk about this. I'm going to have some ways that we could deal with this together because, like I said, I'm not a professional and I'm new to this, and we're working on this together. So don't go nowhere. This is the Jaime Dee Show live on KSHP in Las Vegas and live on WRMN in Elgin in the Chicagoland area. I'll be right back.
Batteries Plus Bulbs is more than batteries and bulbs. It's your repair shop for Apple devices, Samsung Galaxy devices, and more. Located on Randall Road, just south of 20 in Elgin, Batteries Plus Bulbs fills all your battery and light bulb needs in one stop. They have the largest selection of batteries for ATVs, cameras, phones, laptops, scooters, cars and homes, and everything else. Looking to save money with energy-efficient LED or holiday lighting? Stop in at Batteries Plus Bulbs in Elgin. Go to batteriesplus.com for special offers.
Hi, I'm Marky Beat from the First Shift Morning Show, and on my show, I often engage in long, hard, deep conversations with my listeners about everyday life.
This morning we had hash browns and eggs, and ham.
Well, what else is going on, Susan? You think I'd look good with hair the same color as yours?
Totally.
Well, anything on the agenda for today?
No.
Now that's powerful radio. So listen to the First Shift weekday mornings beginning at 6 a.m. right here on WRMN.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP out of Las Vegas and live on WRMN out of Elgin in the Chicagoland area. If you're just now tuning in, I already went over some daily news, and now we're having a conversation about addressing and dealing with a manipulator. Like I told you guys before, I'm the professional in this topic, and I'm still doing my own research, and this is why I'm having this conversation with you all to not only help you all, but also help myself in the same process. I think another challenging part in addressing and dealing with the manipulator is figuring out who is the manipulator and who is not a manipulator. And if you don't know if you're being manipulated or not, here's a video by Alex Howard Therapy on TikTok with 3 signs you are being manipulated. Take a look.
Here are 3 signs that you are being manipulated. Number 1, you feel something is off. Often when we're being manipulated into a perspective or behaviors that are not true to us, our own inner compass can feel something's off. And part of the manipulation is to get us to override that. So listen to how you feel. Number 2, your needs are being ignored. That you're expressing what you want or what you need, and the other person is not paying attention. And thirdly, the ultimate sign of manipulation is we find ourselves acting outside of our character. That we say or we do or we think and feel things that are not true to who we really are. They're true to the person that's trying to manipulate us. To learn more about manipulation and how to break free from it, do follow my account for more videos in this series.
I'm glad that I was able to find that. And I'm glad that when I was doing Google researching and reading different articles and news articles and peer review articles, there was a lot of useful information out there. And it's great to know that when there's difficult situations and topics like this, you can seek help, even if you can't find it from a person in your life. You can find it by simply Googling. And I'm gonna say it again, I'm not a professional on this topic, so I'm using my personal experiences to help those who are listening right now couple with research I found on the internet. We're all in this fight in addressing and dealing with our manipulators together. And that is why I want to play this YouTube video by Let's Talk About Mental Health with how to deal with a manipulative person. Actually, no, it's not by them. Excuse me, take that back. This is actually by another YouTuber. This YouTuber is going to be, I was going to play that one, but it's a little too long, and I want to make sure that you guys have time to actually digest this. This is by Psych2Go on how to deal with emotional manipulators and narcissistic people. Take a look.
Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Is there someone trying to manipulate you every time you talk? They just gotta have it their way no matter what it takes. And maybe you're aware it's all manipulation, but you still can't help but get angry and you wish you had a comeback for their manipulative tactics. Well, if you want to stop that master manipulator once and for all, keep watching for some powerful comebacks. Number 1. No. You probably already heard the expression, no is a full sentence. Even though sometimes you want to explain the reasons for rejecting someone, like when talking to a friend or a family member, you don't need to justify yourself to anyone. No matter how hard a manipulator tries to make you do things their way, you have the right to refuse to do anything you're not comfortable with. Don't be afraid to say no and turn away. They really aren't worthy of an explanation. Number 2. I don't care about your opinion. Manipulators usually take great pride in themselves and believe their opinions are the only right opinions, and they try to make you believe the same. And since they're the masters of manipulation, most of the time they manage to push those opinions on others. But when you tell them you don't care about their opinion, suddenly their tactics fail. They can't believe someone doesn't care about their cherished opinion. If you use this comeback, you might get a confused expression and a minute of silence. Number 3, I feel sorry for you. It's not uncommon for a manipulator to think they are superior, and they believe that everyone else thinks the same. They think you'll believe anything they say simply because they're so great and important. And they expect admiration, so telling them you feel sorry for them could be quite shocking to them. Bonus points if you explain why you feel sorry for them. They're just a sad, lonely person trying desperately to convince themselves that others like them. Number 4, I don't have time for this. Because who does have time for being manipulated? Master manipulators feel the need to control and dominate everyone and everything, which also includes your time. They think they have the right to always be in your face with their tactics and demands. So tell them straightforwardly that there are so many things that are more important for you than they are. Let them know you're not available and that you refuse to spend even 1 minute listening to what they have to say. And number 5, don't talk to me. What better way to stop a manipulator than to not even engage in a conversation? Sometimes that can even be the only choice you're left with. Of course, this comeback may not work instantly. Even if you try to shut them down, they will probably continue their mind games. So that's where you need to show them that you really mean it, by walking away from them or simply ignoring them as if they're not there. This may seem petty at first, but your mental health and dignity is more important than their ego. Tell them you don't want them to talk to you, and after that, make your actions speak even louder. Saying those things to such a dominating personality can feel scary, and you might be afraid of their reaction and anger. But refusing to let them hold any power over you is the most important step to free yourself from their manipulative grasp. When you show them that you're not as weak as they think you are, they can't see you as their prey. So take a stand for yourself, and don't be afraid of anyone. Have you had experiences with a manipulator? Let us know in the comments and share this video with anyone who may benefit. As always, the references and studies used are listed in the description. Until next time, and thanks for watching. Take care.
So I really hope that this video was able to help you all. If you feel as though that you need more help, like I said, it is extremely easy to find resources on how to deal with the manipulator by simply going to Google. And like I said, there was a video I was going to play by Let's Talk About Health titled How to Deal with Manipulative People, 5 Tips That Actually Work. I just didn't have time today to play that. So if you want to go watch that, it's about a 7-minute video. Please go listen to his video. It actually is a very detailed and extremely resourceful video to help aid you in dealing with your manipulator. I want you guys to be well equipped. I want you guys to remember not to let your emotions lead you and to always 100% remember this. Protect yourself and make sure that you're safe. Do not do anything that will put you in danger. If you don't feel like you'll be safe, reach out to somebody. Call 911 if you need to, or get someone to be there with you when you are addressing and dealing with a manipulator. All right, guys, I love you so much. I hope that this social topic was able to help you all. I really, really, really hope that you were able to gain something from this. Bob, thank you so much. He says, Jamie, you think and speak about your daily subject very well. Keep up the good work. I truly, truly appreciate you. I love you all so much. If you want to promote your business, products, services, music, podcasts, and more, hit us up at info@jamiedee.com. That's info@JAIMEDEE.com. I promise you, we have the reach you need to build your business or whatever it is you're trying to promote. All right. Hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow. This has been the Jaime Dee Show live on KSHP out of Las Vegas and live on WRMN out of the Elgin in the Chicagoland area. Peace out, guys.